Hello buyers, hope you're all well. James Ferguson here from supplybase.com. Hope everything is going well in your businesses and you're all feeling positive and buying great stuff and pleasing those stakeholders and enjoying this beautiful English weather that we're having at the moment. Get out and enjoy it while you can because it won't last for long. Today we wanted to make a video regarding the recent release of the Apple Watch. It probably didn't seem immediately apparent how procurement could use the Apple Watch. It's very new technology, early adopter. How could procurement use it? How's it really going to benefit us? Well, we thought we'd take a look and maybe be a bit creative in our thinking. And so we came up with 5 killer procurement apps that we think should be made for the Apple Watch. So we'd love to get your feedback on these. And if you had any fantastic ideas. So, I mean, it's good to talk about, I think, initially, with the Apple Watches on pre-order and everyone poised for another Apple-led revolution, because honestly, don't fool yourselves, the Apple Watch is going to change everything. I know there's a lot of skepticism around wearable technology and especially around the watch and what difference it's going to make, but it really is going to make a massive difference with how you are connected to the world and how you change. If you just think about operations like with Apple Pay, instead of having to get a credit card or anything to pay in a shop, all you do is wave your watch against the till and you've paid. That's incredible difference. Instead of looking at your phone for 50 times a day at what email or text message you've got, you just look at your watch. And then there's loads of different ways that you're going to be interacting. Maybe you're going to be getting on a bus and scanning your watch, and that's your bus ticket. Scanning your watch when you're getting on an aeroplane, and you don't have to have tickets anymore. I mean, it's just the opportunities are incredible. So it's going to make a massive difference. Let's hope it makes a really positive difference to procurement. So let's have a look at some apps that we maybe think could make that difference. So first one, we think there should be one called Delivered. And this would be an app that notifies procurement and the requester, or your stakeholders and management, through the stages of the procurement order cycle, and ultimately when the supplier makes a delivery. The app would link up to the company ERP system or ping specific emails that are generated by the system that go to the watch. And these would be throughout the order cycle and until the delivery arrives or doesn't arrive. So this will enable you to be informed about the order as it goes through the process, understand when the delivery date is expected to be, when it's in transit, when it's being dispatched, all of that kind of thing. So we think there'd be the following alerts for these apps. When the order is received, when it's processed by the supplier, when it's actually manufactured, if the item's being manufactured for you or if it's bespoke, when it's been picked and packed and ready for dispatch, then when it's actually dispatched, goes through the dispatch process and gets shipped out, when it's being routed, where it's being routed to, where in the routing process it is, when it's actually been delivered, so when it's through the doors, been scanned by your goods inwards team, you get a ping to say it's in the building, your requesters would as well. Then they can go down to dispatch and get those items, or the manufacturing line can know that those items are there ready and waiting for them so that production isn't halted. And then you could also be pinged if the goods are having to be returned. If they're rejected for any reason or there's been an overstocking, then you could return them and get pinged when it's been received back again, and then when you've received a rebate or a credit note. Okay, so that's Delivered. Let's hope some whizzy person produces that. Next one is Calm Down, Dearest. This would be an app that monitors your heartbeat and other factors during negotiations. And it would be for the purpose of alerting you to calm down if you're showing signs of stress, so you can keep that poker face and ensure you get the most fantastic deal for your company. The watch would be able to monitor your heartbeat. It has it built in as standard, so the app just has to be written to make that visible in this particular app, and other quantified self-measurements to understand what your body is saying, so you can then understand how this might be being outwardly portrayed. It would also be able to pick up voice data, such as your speed of speech and anomalies in your pitch, because it would know you'd have to do some setup so that it understands your voice, can pick that up, differentiate your voice to others, and understand how you normally talk. And then it would know whether your pitch was off, whether it was faster, slower, broken, etc. And this would help you to avoid potential outward signs of nervousness or other unintentional signals you might make, and give away your position. The question of whether negotiation is a science or an art is ongoing and has been discussed for ever and ever, and to be fair, there's probably not a real answer for that. However, this app would really help with the science part of negotiation. Next one is called Show Me the Money. Harking back to Jerry Maguire there. And this would be an app that pings selected management and yourself and other stakeholders when procurement make a cost saving. We spend all that time and effort to making these savings. We do it once, we put it in a report. Does anyone really remember that we've done it? Well, with this app, they will. You get an initial hit when we make an initial bing when you first of all make the saving and load it into the app. But then ongoing savings would bring ongoing dings. So every time there's a delivery against that purchase order that has a saving, every time an invoice is paid against that particular PO, then everyone would get a ding to just remember that effort that procurement put in. We think this would be a really whizzy nice addition, especially for the CFO. We think he'd love to hear that little ding every time to know that that his procurement team are working away and saving him money, and obviously the CPO to also push the performance of his team. The next one we thought would be called What Just Happened, and this is basically an app that will allow you to always be in the know. So it lets you create a list of company and category topics and alerts so that you know when something you are interested in and want to follow happens. So if you're following a particular supplier or suppliers, industry or market sector, you can know if anything happens in that market sector, and it just pings you, gives you a little alert to make sure that you're always up to speed. So did your supplier just go bust? Was a new technology just released? Did the government just set some new legislation that's going to affect your area? So you can always be on the top of your game and know exactly what's happening in your backyard and be the best buyer you can be, and the best consultative voice to your stakeholders and to the management of your company. The next and final app we thought of would be called PO Approved. So we all know how horrible it is to log into many e-procurement systems. There's some great new ones coming up, but logging into the procurement system, looking what POs you've got, and having to approve them, it's just a bit of a pain, really. So we think there should be an app that lets you manage POs and requisitions at the touch of a button. A PO would be routed to you, showing the supplier, name, requisitioner details, and the PO amount, and then you'd simply be able to press the green tick for approve, a red cross for reject, or amber for this needs more work, that you then need to log in and investigate further. Simples. Imagine how much quicker your life would be without all that logging into the PO system and approving POs, having it all on your watch, there, ready for you. So with those 5 apps, well, you wouldn't even have to go into work, would you? You can just sit in bed all day and just tap your watch. Fantastic. Anyway, so we hope some of these come available, and if you have any ideas for great procurement apps, we would absolutely love to hear them. And our final thought on the Apple Watch, if you don't know already, we've got a promotion going with SupplyBase at the moment, where you can win your very own Apple Watch on the day it comes out and we get the delivery. We have one on order and we are just waiting for that delivery. The way you can enter the competition to win that watch is to go to www.supplybase.com/reviews and just leave a review of one of your fantastic suppliers. So pick one that you really like working with or would like to give some constructive criticism to. Fill out the review. You can fill out things like innovation, customer service, quality. You score that on a 1 to 6 basis, so the supplier can know whether you're unhappy, just satisfied, a little bit happy, or really happy with them. And it's a great indicator for them as to whether they would need to work harder for you or just maintain the current great levels of service. You can also leave a review and a reference so that other people can benefit from you, and you can be clear on what exactly it was you liked and add a bit more story around your experience with that supplier. And then you can recommend them for particular expertise. If they did something really well or you liked a particular part of their service that they were fantastic at, you can recommend them for this, and it will tally that up so that people can see where their strengths are. And then confirm that this is your own experience with the supplier and submit. Fantastic. Then you'll be entered in the competition and will hopefully win that Apple Watch. So good luck with that. www.supplybase.com/reviews. Get that done today. We'll see you for next time. Thank you and goodbye.